Foreign Affairs Minister Chrystia Freeland says Prime Minister Justin Trudeau takes very, very personally to heart the plight of Canadians imprisoned in China, and she doesn't know why Beijing won't heed Ottawa's pleas to free them. Mr. Trudeau leaves for China on Saturday on a trip expected to include the announcement that Canada will begin formal free trade talks with the world's second-largest economy and a growing military power. Beijing has been pressing for the talks, which would make Canada the first group of 7 countries to agree to negotiate a bilateral deal with the country. Ms. Freeland told the Globe and Mail's editorial board on Friday that the Prime Minister will raise the case of 4 Canadians who have been detained in China when he holds talks with Chinese President Xi Jinping and Premier Li Keqiang. Story continues below advertisement. Let me tell you, the Prime Minister takes the consular cases very, very personally to heart, Ms. Freeland said. I personally mention them at every opportunity. They are very troubling to me. It is dreadful for the Canadians jailed in China, and it is dreadful for their families. The 4 Canadians are Hussein Salil, a Uyghur dissident, imprisoned since 2006, Falun Gong practitioner Jin Sun, in jail since February, and British Columbia wine merchants John Chong and Alison Lu. The Richmond couple have been detained since May 2016, over a custom dispute involving shipments of ice wine that Beijing says were undervalued for duty purposes. The couple's daughter, Amy Chong, wrote to Mr. Trudeau on Monday asking him to postpone formal free trade talks with Beijing until he obtains her parents' release. Mr. Chong, a former avid participant in trade missions to China who has been celebrated in Canada for his entrepreneurial skill, is in ill health and has lost 1/3 of his weight while in prison. Ms. Lu was released from jail in March but has been barred from leaving China. Ms. Freeland said the 4 Canadians are experiencing a dreadful situation in Chinese jails, but she could not explain why China's rulers turn a deaf ear to Canada's pleas to free them. I am not going to speak for anybody else's government, the foreign minister said. Ms. Freeland acknowledged that China's one-party dictatorship and record of human rights abuse trouble many Canadians, but she said Canada nevertheless needs to expand trade with the world's fastest-growing economy. Even though recently concluded government consultations with 600 businesses, academics and civil society groups found significant skepticism about a free trade deal with Beijing, Ms. Freeland said Canada can't turn back the clock because China is already the country's second biggest trading partner. That is the economic reality for Canada and for Canadians, she said. Story continues below advertisement. Story continues below advertisement. While the Foreign Affairs Minister was careful not to upstage the expected announcement of formal trade talks in Beijing next week, Ms. Freeland said she was confident any such negotiations would not overshadow crucial talks on the North American Free Trade Agreement. Canada has the best trade negotiators in the world.